Hey y'all, welcome back to Gadfly, the podcast about third parties, fringe candidates, and just generally weird alert from that thing. Haven't fucked that up in a while. Great.
We're keeping it.
Nope. Well, I guess we are. It's too late. You're here. You know what this is about. This is part 2 of a 2-part series. Who's jumping in at this point? Unaware of what we do. I'm Dusty Wilson. I'm
Udo O'Leary.
I'm clearly in a good place right now. So... Oh man, I actually was having a little bit of fun. I mean, fun as I define it earlier today, reading about how the Nevada Democrat Party has been taken over by Democratic Socialists.
Wait, like now in the present time?
Yeah, in the modern days. Apparently, the Democratic Socialists in Nevada worked really, really hard to get Clark County, which is where Las Vegas is, to get a lot of folks there in the organization and really kind of, campaigning and all that.
Strengthen the bench.
Exactly.
Get voter turnout.
And then they won these statewide elections for the party, to which the chairwoman of the party said, "Congratulations, this is an amazing thing for you. By the way, all the staff has quit, all the consultants have quit. They have given themselves severances, and all of the money that would be here for you has been directly donated to the Democratic Senate Committee."
Wow.
Yeah.
Fucking salt the earth, why don't you?
Yeah. Well, I dare you to guess what the moderate Democrats, what their theme was when they were running for the head of the party.
Oh no, what?
Unity.
Yep.
It's the beautiful time to America these days.
Unity with radical centrism.
Oh my God. If we ever have merch, it is going to be for radical centrism.
It's going to be one of those jaunty little pins you see on denim jackets and Farfanugan backpacks.
Yes. They'll just say hashtag things are fine.
Or like decked out.
Wait, no. Hashtag small incremental changes that lead to nothing.
Oh my God. But in like rockabilly script, like those old style, like mom tattoos.
Oh my God, that'd be amazing. And a pair of sparrows carrying a cherry.
Yes. Like hard as fuck until you get closer and you read it.
Oh my God. Well, that pin, when we make it, will be $53.
Please buy our commemorative pins.
Look, it's gonna be that
we can quit our day jobs and do this and not be so tired.
Literally any merch we ever do is going to be that pin. And I have sworn to this on everything that I care about. We will make a stuffed dog, and his name is going to be Bork, the faithless elector.
Oh
That's an episode 3 joke. And I love it too much.
For the deep cuts out there.
Look, if your favorite thing is sound quality we haven't quite figured out yet, dive on in. It's really great.
If you love the Strokes' first album, you will love the first 15 to 50 episodes we put out.
I hate that you see me so well. It infuriates me to know it. Yeah, so that was pretty much I think that's the only Gadfly-ish news we have going on right now.
Love it.
In the world.
Yeah, any Rocky news?
Sadly, no Rocky news yet. I know we're going to be on the verge of it, the way things are going. Here in America, for our international listeners, we are on the verge of the 2022 midterm election season. People are putting in their applications. They're turning in their petitions. A lot of people who should not be doing this are doing it. And so a thing we're probably going to be doing in the future is doing some deep dives on the Trumpists you don't know about. Because as much fun as it is to fuck with Mike Lindell and just shit on Laura Loomer, we gotta stretch it out. We gotta talk about the monsters you don't know about.
Yeah, because otherwise they're gonna turn up on your ballot and you're gonna not know.
Exactly. We gotta try our best. But fucking MAGA bride, I can't remember her real name, but it's literally a woman whose bridal dress just said MAGA on the front of it, and she's running for Congress. She might be more qualified than that, but that's the claim to the fame.
You know what? I'm going to go with a hard no on that assumption.
Well, is anyone who has ever been on a bridal show or is famous due to their wedding allowed to run for office, Una? If you were on an episode of Bridezillas, are you allowed to run for office?
How far did I make it in Bridezillas?
I mean,
I feel like if you're dropping out early on and
no, you don't drop out. That's a good point. Yeah,
I've never seen the show, but I have seen Say Yes to the Dress.
Ooh, yeah.
Excellent trash TV.
Oh, it's beautiful. Look, Bridezillas might be my favorite reality show that has ever existed, predominantly just because I waited 11 seasons for the marriage not to be consummated or to be canceled before paperwork was signed, and it never happened until season 11. And when it happened, I almost cried. Like, I know it's probably bullshit. People are acting up so they can get a free wedding because that shit is not fucking cheap.
No, it's
So,
not.
look, I get it. Act like a fucking asshole for 3 weeks, get a free fucking wedding. You do you. And thank you for the entertainment.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
it's great. They have a voiceover artist who sounds like Kristen Bell. The sound effects department are gods among earth. They get a new sound effect every year and they'll use it once an episode and it's always at the perfect time.
I'm going to check this out.
Yeah. It's I've probably oversold it for a shitty show about terrible human beings.
No, it's called Brazil. Like I'm going in eyes wide open. Heart clear. They know I know what's being delivered.
Well, I will check in on you then when you're at season 5, which I don't remember what happened. I should actually watch them all.
Wait, did you watch them all? Because
I watched every single episode. I went through a dark period of unemployment where Bryce Willis was a wonderful friend.
Okay, no, this is a charming, heartwarming story. I feel like that story, your story of being unemployed and watching Bridezillas and finding the comfort in it, that has not been shown to the Hallmark Channel. I think that needs to. We need.
I don't know who the competitors are to the Hallmark Card Company, but I think we could pitch it to them.
Yes.
Like Papyrus. We could pitch this to the Papyrus Network.
Oh my God. Amazing.
Oh my God. I think that's a riff for another day because I really just want to talk about what movies the Papyrus Network would do.
Is the Papyrus Network, is there font Papyrus as well?
I imagine because I think all their stores use that font. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've been in the day. Anyway, so we're a politics podcast. That's what we do.
This is what happens when we flub the intro.
We just talk about bullshit. And then no one gets to learn about part 2 about Jacob Coxey, the man with a few plans. So yeah, when we left our good pal Jacob, things were not looking so good. His movement to convince Congress to take up his public works initiatives had fallen flat. The various armies of unemployed men he attempted to travel across the country to Washington, D.C. had kind of arrived, but many of them kind of got stopped in Mississippi when all the free train rides stopped and they started running into very angry middle-class people, I guess. I think that's a fair assumption.
Yeah, not wilderness bros.
Yeah. And in the end, only a few thousand would show up in Washington, D.C. and join Jacob in his protest, along with cult leader in waiting Carl Brown. And Jacob and Carl got arrested immediately for walking on the grass of the Capitol building and for having disagreeable banners. Some of those banners proclaimed that Jacob and Carl had the soul of Jesus living in their brains, but we've all been to that protest. And Congress would refuse to even hear Jacob's proposed bill. And by the time Jacob and Carl had gotten out of prison 3 weeks later, all of the men they had brought with them had already returned home. And all that remained for Jacob to do was the same. As we said before, Jacob and Carl had a huge falling out over what? Probably Carl saying some very uncomfortable things. Carl would end up marrying Jacob's daughter, Mamie, and then they got divorced and the two would never speak to each other again, which honestly is really for the best for many, many reasons. But the biggest one, at least for now, is that the Populist Party had just found their newest candidate for Congress. As we had said in last week's episode, Jacob had made a pretty strong impression on the Populist Party at their last convention. And it was the Ohio branch of the party that really thought the most of his public works plans. So not even a few months after Jacob returned home to Massillon, the Populist Party informed Jacob that they would be nominating him for the party's nominee for Ohio's 18th congressional district. Now, the real bummer of this part of Jacob's life is that aside from the physical copies of news clippings at the Massillon Historical Society, there isn't much out there about Jacob's first ever Populist Party campaign. And really a lot of his campaigns going forward. We get lucky with a couple, but for most of them, it's just like, yeah, he ran. What else do you want to know? It's
What, did you think we would have follow-up questions?
I'm sorry, the circus was in town. I was busy. So for a lot of this, we're going to have to pick and choose which races we focus on and which we're just going to have to glance right the hell over. And what makes this an even bigger bummer is that Jacob's inaugural campaign went so incredibly well for him. It more than likely helped that the Populist Party was still riding strong from their 1892 performance, but also despite a lot of people thoroughly disliking Jacob and his jobless army, he was still a hometown celebrity. And that name recognition can carry a lot. But a lot still isn't quite enough to win. And Jacob would end up winning 21% of the vote for the Populist Party, but would lose to both the Democratic nominee Edward Raff and the winner of the campaign, Republican and attorney Robert Taylor. And frankly, if you're a third-party candidate and you net that many votes, then it really just makes sense to promote that candidate to the next level up.
As we've learned.
Yeah, there's like it's like a points card at a video shop. I don't know what's another old person term I can use. It's like a Subway punch card where it's like you had 6 subs, now you can run for Senate.
The phones with the rotary. It's like that.
You know that game Jacks we used to play? That thing was awesome. You had a ball, you did something with it.
Sticks may have been involved.
So in 1895, the Populist Party quickly selected Jacob to be their official nominee for governor of Ohio. This time, though, Jacob would be facing much stronger competition. The Democrats had nominated James E. Campbell, who had served as governor from 1889 to 1891, and Republicans chose businessman Asa Bushnell. And if Jacob Coxey was considered a rags to riches story, then Asa Bushnell was more of a rags to fuck you levels of riches. In his lifetime, he would serve as the president of the First National Bank of Springfield, president of the Springfield Gas Company, and was the chairman of the whole Republican Party of the state of Ohio. And once again, we don't have a ton of info on this race outside of Bushnell and Campbell. And really, that's about all everyone needs to know. It's not like Jake even performed poorly. He pulled in a respectable 6.3% of the statewide vote and finished a strong third. But the race was pretty much Asa Bushnell's to lose from the start, and he'd end up winning his first term as governor with 51% of the vote. And it's important to remember, at this time, Ohio is strictly Republican, and Republican in the sense of more liberal before that great switch that happens in the 30s. And then 1896 happened. And while that year would mostly be fine for every other political party, it was absolutely devastating for the populace. You see, the 1894 election had been amazing for the Republicans, but generally terrible for the Democrats and populists. During the party was on the verge of collapse, a faction of the populists believed that the only way that they could continue to survive as a party would be to fuse with the Democrats. They would unite on a platform of reform, adopt bimetallism, which is the idea that use gold and silver for money, and create a more moderate and centrist form of populism. And as all things radically centrist, there was a group in the party who reacted to that idea with, no, this is a bad idea. Why are we doing this? Fucking stop it. And these folks were referred to as mid-roaders and simply wanted to keep the populist as their own party and not lessen their own party values for the sake of a potential victory. Now, the mid-roaders pushed government ownership of railroads, the destruction of monopolies, and called for massive reform on financial sectors. So clearly, these two factions were all set to get along really well. And to make things even more fun, the Populist Party chose to have their convention 1 week after the Democratic convention, just in case they nominated someone they really liked. And it just so happened the Democrats would select a 36-year-old former congressman by the name of William Jennings Bryan. Now, are you familiar with William Jennings Bryan, Una?
The name does sound familiar.
We are going to go into a super deep dive on this asshole someday. There are two ways, well, actually three ways you might know William Jennings Bryan. You'll see him in American history textbooks in a sort of a caricature saying America will not be crucified on a cross of gold. And it was based on a speech that he gave at the Democratic National Convention, completely turning down the gold standard and embracing the silver standard for currency. Thing number two is many characters in The Wizard of Oz are based off of William Jennings Bryan and a number of his personal beliefs. Or so the legend says. But then the big one that probably most folks know is the play and movie Inherit the Wind. William Jennings Bryan is the guy who's just like, people aren't monkeys. And yeah.
What?
It's much better than that. It's very good. It's about the Scopes monkey trial, and some guys just like, yeah, evolution's a thing, and I'm gonna teach it to you. And then the town goes fucking nuts, and the two best lawyers in goddamn America show up, and one of them's William Jennings Bryan. He's just like, is the Bible? The Bible's perfect, and fuck you. But it's more eloquent than that. Inherit the Wind, great play. Based on a thing that really happened.
Yeah, I think I had an econ class where my teacher pretty early on just like got to rambling about the second one.
The Wizard of Oz.
The Wizard of Oz, yeah. And just explaining it from like an economic standpoint. And yeah, like the yellow brick road and like all the symbolism. It was great.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure L. Frank Baum has just been like, I just wrote a book. What the fuck, man? But yeah, Dorothy used to wear silver slippers, not ruby slippers. And she was walking on the gold road. JFK was there. Anyway, so the Democrats nominate William Jennings Bryan, who is both really beloved and really hated, depending on where you live.
Yeah, fuck you, radical centrism. Here's William Jennings Bryan.
Yeah, hey, you want fucking unity? Here we go.
Yes.
Here's some unity. Oh, man. So Bryan would end up selecting shipping businessman Arthur Sewell as his VP. And funny thing about him, Arthur Sewell is heavily conservative, and it is believed the only reason Bryan selected him was, one, to let business interests know that he wasn't going to completely fuck them, B, to try to win more of the conservative vote, and C, to try to win votes in New England. And that's it.
Oh, well, I mean, you need that yacht vote.
Yeah, it's... What are the people in New Paltz going to think?
That Erie Canal vote.
Damn it. So the next week, the populists get together, and the fusionists are so freaking excited about endorsing Bryan as their nominee and just leaving it at that. And like I said, the mid-roaders, they just hate Arthur Sewell, and they really don't care much for Bryan either. So the other big hurdle that the mid-roaders had is everyone who was in charge of the Populist Party were fusionists and wanted to get together with the Democrats. And it was all like the other people, like the true believers on the ground doing the hard work. They were the ones who were like, can we please keep our party? That would be nice. So in an attempt to postpone naming Bryan as the party's nominee, the mid-roaders got the convention to focus first on selecting a vice president that everyone could agree on. Because fuck Sewell, that guy is terrible. The dude's a conservative. He hates populists. And he's part of kind of a weird cult. And I know we've been saying this a lot for the past couple episodes, but this guy is in a very unique new cult. It is older than esotericism, but it's called Swedenborgian Christianity.
Oh, no.
And the general idea is there's this dude whose last name is Swedenborg, and God talks to him every couple of weeks, and people believe him.
Mazel to anyone out there who is not imagining the Swedish chef in their mind right now, because I can't do it.
I mean, that's a religion I could get behind. And I believe
Fair
it
enough.
still exists in a modern sense today. It's called the New Church. And yeah,
Is it?
I don't know, man. It was just such a weird thing. But could you imagine selecting a vice president and just being like, oh yeah, Kamala, she believes that there's a guy who 100 years ago talked to God on a bi-weekly basis.
But most people have a problem with her pro-consumerism and corporate stance.
Yeah. I don't know what would be worse, being in a weird cult or just being a cop. The world may never know.
Probably cop.
Yeah, it's cop.
Yeah.
Some cults are fine.
Like,
Some cults just want to
goofy. Yeah.
This is a really hard take for both of us there. That's a real hot take. Anyway, fuck Arthur Sewell. This guy is going to fucking deep six a campaign. And so the thing is, for a little bit, the stalling tactic worked. They ended up picking a new guy by the name of Tom Watson to be the vice presidential nominee. But the second William Jennings Bryan caught word of this, he sent a telegram, which I think you tie it to a bird and you like teach it to peck the words, and they just send it.
No, you hit an object that looks like a stapler a lot, and then magically on another side, someone gets a piece of paper with no grammatical indication, just the word stop, whenever necessary.
Oh my God, I never connected. That's why stop exists. God damn it. I am stupid. Why are any of you listening? I've just ruined my credibility. Oh my God. Yeah. So they send the stapler message to the populace.
Thank you.
And William Jennings Bryan essentially says, if you select anyone other than Arthur Sewell for vice president, I will not accept your endorsement and I will not accept your nomination, which not much is going to change for you, bro, but sure.
Fine.
And weirdly enough, the populace didn't give in. They're like, no, we like Tom Watson. Arthur Sewell is a fucking weirdo.
Right.
His beard is strange. He smells like boats and not in a good way.
We've already confirmed that we don't give a shit about winning. There's literally nothing you can say to us.
I said, good day, sir. Take this tract about weird religion with you. Oh, man. But then after they got the vice president thing done, they still kind of have to pick who the president's going to be. And of course, the fusionists are still just like, well, William might be mad at us, but we're still going to try. And the mid-roaders selected a fellow by the name of Seymour F. Norton, who is the editor of the Chicago Express newspaper. And I know what you're thinking. I've never heard of this guy before. And funny enough, most of the people at the convention thought the same thing.
Oh, no.
He was, I think he perfectly kind of encapsulates that sort of deep personal belief in a party that you're in where you're just like, we're just going to pick the perfect person, whether someone knows them or not. And Seymour was probably very good and had a lot of great ideas, but everyone else is just like, I don't know who the fuck this is.
He's got no charisma, no name recognition, no X factor.
Yeah.
But God damn it, he's a true believer. Oh, he has an X factor?
No, someone else who got votes did. Coming in third place with 8 votes was a future celebrity of the third party movement, Eugene Debs, who, oh my God, Udo, we are going to have a fun time with Eugene Debs. Eugene Debs was a socialist who ran for president multiple times, once from jail. He is an extraordinary badass, and we'll have a lot of fun talking about him. But yeah,
Yay!
He helped to give the Socialist Party in America a large amount of credibility for a long number of years.
The Debs bump, okay.
Oh, yeah, Eugene Debs is great. Well, yeah. And so years before Eugene Debs was even considering running for president, he almost got the nomination through the populace. And getting 1 vote, a fellow by the name of Jacob Coxey.
Coxey! Is it because he voted for himself?
I was going to say, look, I can't think of anyone else in that room who would have voted for him other than himself.
Oh,
like,
Coxey?
It's just like there are people having very serious, strong debates as to who they should choose. And I bet he was just like, you know what, maybe you should pick me. I'll just put my name out there and let's see what happens.
You know who else has a name? Jacob Coxey.
My vision board thinks this is a great idea. But yeah, so they put forward the dude from the Chicago Express, which sounds like a 1970s football team. And in the end, William Jennings Bryan would end up winning the nomination by a vote of 1,042 to 321.
Damn.
And so William Jennings Bryan wins. And despite him claiming he wouldn't take their endorsement if they didn't nominate Sewell, he took the endorsement anyway.
Boom, suck it. Yes, this is why you don't negotiate.
And he also took the nomination of the newly formed Silver Party, which just started that year and would end that year.
But you know what? In second, because they're silver.
Yes, it's Rocky De La Fuente rules. If someone offers you an endorsement, you take it.
Yeah, just take it. You never know.
So after nominating their own guy in 1892 and winning electoral votes, the populace put everything they had in on William Jennings Bryan and his obsession with silver. And this would lead them down the road to complete defeat.
Oh my God.
You see, Bryan turns out did not have nearly the amount of cash needed to run against the Republican nominee, William McKinley. So he went about a campaign that mostly ignored major cities and ignored the whole Northeast. He spoke nonstop about the silver standard, which folks in the few cities he went to couldn't really have even cared half a silver shit about. It also didn't help that since Arthur Sewell and Tom Watson were technically both of his vice president nominees, they both started campaigning against each other, with Watson calling Sewell, quote, an agent for banks and railroads, which, yeah, he was. And to top it all off, McKinley had gotten the support of all major business leaders and nearly all religious leaders, including the Catholics, mainly because Bryan would not shut the fuck up about how fucking awesome Protestantism is and was just throwing red flags everywhere.
That's not a good look.
Hey, Catholics, you know what's great? The religion that fucked up your door.
Oh my God.
And yeah, in the end, McKinley ran to a very easy victory. The Democrats would rebound, but the populists were essentially dead. Within 5 years, they would mostly just join the Democrats full time, and by 1909, the party was gone. Which, this is just all a very long way of saying that when the Populist Party renominated Jacob to run for the governor of Ohio again in 1897, he was doing so under the banner of a dying party that had just embarrassed the hell out of themselves on the national stage. This race would be the first where Jacob would finish with less than 1% of the vote, getting only 0.73% statewide. And this would also be the first time that he would finish below third place, losing out to incumbent Governor Asa Bushnell, the Democrats, and the Prohibition Party.
He lost to the Prohibition Party.
Yeah. And this is when the Prohibition Party was starting to kind of die out in popularity. Like their movement was starting to get taken up by other parties, but in Ohio, it was kind of starting to die off. So following the zombification of the Populist Party, Jacob would fade back into the world of local business. And now that the effects of the Panic of 1893 were fading, he was able to rebuild his business and get everything back into working order. In 1900, Jacob would even remarry to Henrietta Jones, and the two would end up adding another 4 children to the Coxey brood. And for another 14 years after that, Jacob's name would stay relatively obscure, only brought up in ironic turns of phrase or to jokingly refer to that weird army thing he once did. Apparently, a saying back in the day was, yeah, there's enough here to feed Coxey's army, which means someone made too much food.
Amazing. Let's bring this back.
Yeah, it's old-timey terms that you have to have a history degree to understand. But speaking of which, you know, Una, I think it's time we get the band back together.
Oh, no.
I think it's time for another regional tour of Coxey's Army, but now with Carl Brown. So it's going to be more like, you know, like a mid-90s band reunion tour where it's like, look, I know Third Eye Blind is a whole band, but let's be real. We're all here to see Stephen Jenkins. It doesn't matter who else is there.
I can't with you right now. Right. Yeah. It's like when you were there for the first Lollapalooza, but now it's 2013 and it's just a lot of 18-year-olds rolling on Molly.
Ugh. How can you roll on Molly to the Strokes? I don't get it.
It's just not good.
You're supposed to mumble.
Everyone's so sunburned and dehydrated.
God damn it. Back during Warped Tour, all I did was get sunstroke and slightly high, like an American.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So anyway, it's now 1914, and compared to 1894, things are, well, nowhere near as bad. And yeah, there's a bit of a recession going on now, but it's not 45% unemployment, hundreds of banks going out of business bad. But still, I mean, folks need work. Houselessness is a thing that happens all the time, no matter how good the economy is.
Yeah, no one knows that there's a war just around the corner that's going to like end all of the sadness. Well, not the sadness, but like the economic sadness.
Yeah.
It's going to add sadness. Anyway, point is, it's 1914. Yeah. Keep talking, Dusty.
It's not good. But you know, if Jacob has a plan to help them, then what kind of asshole am I to judge? So remember how last time Jacob was only able to get a few thousand people to show up? Well, this time he has punched up his estimates by quite a bit. During a speech at the Waldorf Astoria, where he was directing the potential members of the New York City Battalion, he outlined his plans for the march, in which he stated that, quote, Even if a third of all unemployed now in the United States joined, it will mean that the capital city will be swamped with about 1 million idle and penniless men. And the plan for this new march seemed very similar to the first. Jacob would lead his own battalion of men from Massillon, Ohio to Washington, D.C. But instead of allowing random armies and movements to just form on their own and show up, this time he would oversee the creation of these groups and help collaborate plans to ensure that they all arrive at the same time. Jake told the New York Times that he expected groups to travel all the way down from Boston, Seattle, New Orleans, and Detroit. And not only that, but he also promised to travel down the same way he did 20 years prior, on the same horse-drawn buggy and in the same ragged uniform. And he did jokingly say, "The horse is dead, but I'll find one just as good."
Okay. By now we have Model Ts as well. You could upgrade with the times.
No. I gotta ride my horse buggy. I gotta be the cerebrum of Jesus.
Yeah.
But the big question on everyone's lips is, dude, why? And sadly, it's a much longer reason than in 1894. So I have to open a PDF now. This is a long quote from Jacob Coxey as to why he is doing this. Interrupt anytime.
Amazing.
First of all, these conspirators wanted to have a certain sort of currency bill passed, a bill that would suit them to a T, and they got it. Although they managed to make the people think they were against it. The bill as it passed was a Wall Street measure, pure and simple, and its passage disclosed to me the fact that President Woodrow Wilson had turned against the people and was now with the Wall Street crowd. What he is talking about is the Federal Reserve Act. He is mad they set up the Federal Reserve Bank.
Oh my God, are we in actuality watching libertarianism?
A little bit, a little tiny bit.
The Sanskrit to the Indo-European languages.
Yeah.
If that were a political party.
Yeah. Well, the thing that drives me nuts about this too is he previously talked about in his bills about how he wants there to be loans for people given by the government. Maybe the government should have a bank where that money comes from. Maybe, yeah. I don't know. I'm not no banksmith. I don't understand how that works, but it just seems like that would make sense.
Maybe the government should be a guarantor for all the banks the next time there's a run on money.
That sounds wonderful. Secondly, the conspirators have a scheme to force the Interstate Commerce Commission to grant a 5% increase in freight rates. Thirdly, they began to give smaller orders for railroad equipment, closing many plants and compelling the others to reduce prices in order to get business. This threw thousands of men out of employment. In the fourth place, they wanted to and succeeded magnificently in creating an army of unemployed men whom they will use as a club against the employed to make cheaper wages. Now, this is the one I liked the most because I was recently watching a George Carlin bit where he was talking about why the middle class exists. And so the upper class exists to be able to take all the money. The middle class is there to do all the work. And the lower class is there to scare the fuck out of the middle class. And yeah, just that general idea of just if you can always make someone work for less, then business will do it. And if they can scare you into working for less, they will fucking do it.
Yeah, I feel like anyone of our age understands this intuitively.
Yeah, I think we've all asked for a raise at some point during high school and found out how badly that went.
My God. How about just really having to tell yourself that negotiation is a part of new job offers? I'm still figuring that out.
Yeah, I know it's a thing, but at the same time, it's just I need to eat. I need to live.
Yes.
I can't just say a number and then be told to fuck off.
Yeah. There's a whole generation scarred completely by 2008.
Oh my God, yeah. All right, more reasons. Here we go. Fifthly, many months ago, they unloaded stocks at par, and now they are buying them back at 50 and 75 cents on the dollar. A smart crowd, that, I tell you. So he's kind of sort of predicting that the stock market's getting a little fucky.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough, Coxey. You're not wrong.
He's also describing something that investors do nowadays too, where they just ride the waves and just buy low, sell high and just expect this shit to happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, and so that's essentially the 5 reasons he's running. It is nowhere near as, catchy as no one has work and we're mad. We will steal a train because we are mad.
Yeah, the immediacy is a little bit lost.
Yeah, it's definitely a more well thought out thesis, but you don't need a thesis to start a revolution.
You don't need a thesis to march. That's.
So the reporter asked if he would have a suffragette group join them this time around. And his answer, I think there's something I could learn from you on this one because I'm getting a tone from it that I'm not sure if I'm right. So it asked, why don't you have a division of suffragettes? Coxey said, well, maybe we will. And if we do, a woman of national fame will lead it. And the Chicago Suffragette Band will play the music for them to march by. General Coxey refused to say who the woman of national fame was, but he said she was from Cleveland. And I have a theory. That this is, I believe her name is Florence Allen, who the main reason I think it's her is because 1, she's from Cleveland, and 2, her main claim to fame in the suffragette movement is she went to 66 of the 88 counties in Ohio, specifically to rural communities to try to spread the word of suffrage suffragism. And so if anyone was going to reach Massillon, Ohio, it was going to be Florence Allen.
That's cool.
And just as a fun fact about her, she was also the first woman to be named onto the Ohio State Supreme Court.
That's super cool.
But yes, I'll have women, and I'll make them play the music for me. What are they going to do? Say no?
What, we're going to have some broad we won't want to look at?
Yeah, I very much get the tone of him just being like, of course there'll be women there. They'll be honored.
Yeah, the most fuckable of women.
Oh my God. I mean, if there's anything suffragists care about, it is being the most fuckable. Why it's on their sashes.
This is not a batch party in Nashville in 2015.
Oh I feel like that would almost be more successful. There's a better plan. You can keep your group small. No one's going to believe they're the reincarnation of Jesus. And if they do, not for long.
Oh my God, take back the night.
I puked on Randy Travis's statue.
Kylie the band. I love karaoke.
We're never allowed in Nashville now.
Damn it, I've never been.
And so I don't know for a fact that this is Florence Allen. I'm just putting numbers together here. But to me, it just kind of makes sense that it's probably her. But what do they want? Is Jacob bringing back the big idea in the Good Roads program? Does he have a new idea that's really redundant, but is actually well thought out? Not this time, because bills are for chumps. Now, Jacob is bringing demands. 2 of them, in fact. 1, the government should own all of the railroads. And 2, if someone is unemployed, they should be able to take a cash loan out from the government with 2% interest.
I just love this, like, Coxey, capitalism, you're doing it wrong. Don't stop.
Yeah, I mean, this is a millionaire. He is a rich motherfucker. And I'm sure the other rich motherfuckers are like, shut the fuck up.
Oh my God.
Keep the money, you dumb fucker. I mean, we will buy the railroads if we're in the government, but fucking stop it. Also, that would have been a terrible long-term investment for the government, just saying. And to finish things off, Jacob left the interview with the New York Times on this doozy of a quote. There's a great crisis at hand, and something must be done. We're sitting on a volcano and don't know it. New York may be ashes at any moment. It is the same story as before the Civil War. The crisis is upon us, and we do not yet realize it. Bye.
I'm sorry. What? It's like, no, I just asked what your demands were. I didn't ask for your H.P. Lovecraft fan fiction.
I will raise the elder ones and burn the city to the ground and then build better roads on it.
It's one of those things where, like, did you forget, like in your head, were you including, the destruction of the home life and maybe some like xenophobic comment about immigrant? I just feels like we are a few cards short of what that rabid speech was supposed to be.
Yeah, we're playing racist poker. He has 2 of a kind, and he's real close here.
Yeah, I'm just like, I forgot to start counting cards when we began. So I don't know where.
Look, man, I don't know where the Irish are in the deck. I don't know, man.
Like, were you listening to Fowler Coolin, or I just give me a heads up? Oh my God.
Oh man. But on the upside, if New York City is ashes, bigger army.
Or years later, Coxey's grandson would write Escape from New York based on the whims of an ancestor in the family.
And here I thought you were going to say, here's my screenplay, Mad Cox. Not to be confused with Mad Cox.
Either way.
You will lose your work permit if you look that up.
No, Mad Cox is Escape from Boston.
Yeah.
And no one does. Spoiler alert.
So while the group from New York City would merge with Jacob's folks somewhere in Pennsylvania, the group would once again hover around only just a few thousand recruits, well short of the million that Coxey was hoping for. The big difference this time, though, is when Coxey and his men got to the Capitol, no one was there to arrest him. He gave his speech to all assembled, there was applause and cheers, and then everyone went home. Technically, the march succeeded, but just like the first in 1894, it was completely forgotten shortly thereafter. It didn't even have that meme quality of being super fucking weird with Carl being around yelling all kinds of shit to reporters and calling them demons. It was just boring this time. It was
a shitty
Woodstock
sequel.
96.
Yes.
That was the one before the one that burned down, right? Woodstock 2000 burned down, right? Or was the riot one?
2000 or 2004?
Oh,
how many have there been?
Too many. Look, we have Coachella now. We don't have to go back. And Una, what do you do after leading a march of the jobless down to Washington?
Probably invent the AT trail, because this dude needs a hobby.
That would be so much better if he went hiking, got himself a trail name,
Yes.
Just
That like
has an encounter
that's
with
what
a
he
bear.
needed.
Oh my God, that would be so much better. No, Una, that's not what you do. Your wonderful idea is the opposite of what you do.
Fine, what do you do?
You start a new political campaign. You're hot in the fucking press. You gotta strike while the iron is somewhat casually interested.
No, you're not. No one talks about Woodstock 96. We collectively forgot it and we're better for it.
But the problem that Jacob has right now isn't that he's just running for office again. It's the populists are gone and he needs a new party. And so this begins an era where Jacob runs as an independent candidate, and it does not start well. In 1916, Jacob makes his first run for Senate for Ohio, going against Democratic incumbent Atlee Pomerene. In his grand return, Jacob would have his worst result yet, finishing dead last behind both major parties, as well as the Socialist and Prohibition Party candidates. In fact, all four of those parties got more than 1% of the vote, leaving Jacob with 0.26% of the vote. So in 1922, Jacob returns to the site of his greatest political success. He's running for Congress of Ohio's 18th district. And yeah, he would do better than the previous election. And it helps that he's the only third party or independent candidate running. But Jacob would once again finish far behind the major parties and end up with only 8.1% of the vote. But you know what? Maybe the problem is he's just not running in the right district. So in 1924, he makes his third run for Congress, this time from Ohio's 16th district, a place he does not live. And once again, he's the only dude running who's not a Republican or a Democrat, and once again, he finishes in last. But since he's not from around there, he only gets 2.9% of the vote, which leads us to 1928. Now, this is the first tent pole of his campaign runnings that we can get a little excited about, because things are about to get a little bit rocky, if you know what I mean.
Oh no.
If you've been keeping track, then you know that so far, Jacob has run in 6 elections. Well, he's about to increase that number by 50% in just 1 year. Jacob might have lost running in the 16th district and the 18th district, but he hasn't tried running for them both at the same time, Eddie Murphy thinking meme. And yeah, of course he loses both. In the 16th district, he runs as an independent, beats the one communist candidate, and gets 1.09% of the vote. And in the 18th district, where he lives, he runs as a nominee for the Socialist Party, loses to the communist candidate, and he gets 2 votes.
What?
But the real story of 1928 is that this would be the first year where Jacob attempted to run for president. And he would get the opportunity through one of the most progressive and really the most obscure political parties I've read about so far in the 20th century. If there's a history or origin story of the interracial independent party, I haven't been able to find it. All that seems to exist is an article printed by Time around when the nomination was officially announced. What little we do know is that the party selected Jacob to be their presidential nominee and chose Simon P.W. Drew to be their vice president. Drew was the pastor of the Cosmopolitan Baptist Church in Washington, D.C., and was the host of a yearly reunion of formerly enslaved people. In 1916, the convention had brought in Woodrow Wilson as the guest speaker, along with the vice president and the entire 1916 Democratic ticket for president. Based on the Time article, it seemed the goal of the party was to galvanize the black vote. However, by the time Election Day rolled around, the ticket had failed to make any state ballots, and neither of them drew a single vote. Now, if there's one thing that we see in this podcast, that we see a million times, it's people who reach for the presidency, miss, and then spend the rest of their political career only ever trying for that most brass of rings. But now is the time to remind ourselves that Jacob isn't dumb. He's actually kind of smart. So in a gadfly first, we have a candidate who, after running and failing to win the presidency, decides to actually aim a bit lower.
Oh, bless you, Jacob.
He aims a lot more local. In 1931, Jacob Coxey became a Republican and ran for mayor of Massillon.
Can't beat him, join him.
And turns out, though, quite a few Republicans in Massillon had the same idea as Jacob. 3 others entered the race along with him, including the 2-term incumbent mayor, Homer Johns. According to local accounts, Jacob went on a blistering local speaking tour and campaigned on one topic and one topic alone: municipal ownership. Specifically, the idea that the people of Massillon ought to own the water supply and not the city. And as boring as that sounds, it seems like it really struck a chord with folks. The Evening Independent, which is the local paper of Massillon at the time, described Election Day for Jacob as such, quote, "In the greatest landslide that ever befell a local primary election, General Jacob Coxey swept 4 opponents for the Republican mayor nomination into the background of today's balloting at the polls. The gray-haired veteran of many unsuccessful political campaigns and fights came into his own today."
Snaps for Jacob.
So Jacob went into the general election with a full head of steam and clear support from his hometown, but he wouldn't make the process easy for himself. Now that he was a major party candidate, he was expected to endorse the other candidates who had won the Republican primaries for city office. And Jacob full-on refused unless they openly agreed with his policies on municipal ownership and care for the unemployed. But compared to his opponents, Jacob was running a flawless campaign. First, there was the Democrat nominee, Fred Justice, who, as of a few weeks before the election, hadn't even spoken publicly in the city or campaigned outside of private events. Then there was socialist Joseph Long, who was running a quiet and well-thought-out campaign, but he's a socialist, so fuck him. And then there's my favorite, this fellow by the name of Harvey Schrock. Now, Harvey decided to take a new middle name while on the campaign trail and started referring to himself as Coxey.
Oh, Harvey.
He slyly derided Jacob, alluding off and on that he discovered that his whole army thing was nothing more than a grift, but he never really supplied any proof or motive, and he just kind of made everything up on the spot. Most notably in the Massillon newspaper, they noted that he was also in possession of, quote, loud sound equipment, and would often hold very loud campaign rallies where he would buy a microphone and a couple of speakers and just turn that shit up to 11.
Oh my God. He sounds like the worst.
Oh yeah, he sounds awful. Apparently 500 people showed up to his very first speaking event, and I don't think any returned. And of course, riding on his name recognition, his personal wealth, and the largest votes ever gathered in a city primary in Massillon, Jacob Coxey found himself in the mayor's seat with a cool 62.8% of the vote.
Oh my God. Third parties take note.
At the age of 77, after 9 races, Jake had finally won.
Oh, he's mayor of his perfect little hometown.
He immediately got to work for his big plan for Massillon. And really, he only had 2. One of which was, we're going to give the waterworks to the people. But 2, Jacob wished to issue $200,000 in bearer bonds, which, look, 73% of my stocks are all in weed companies. That's as far as my knowledge of bonds and stocks go. I don't even understand a little of what bearer bonds are, but it seems like what he wants to do is he wants to have these bonds and use them to pay people to do public works programs across the city. And the thing is, he was having a really hard time to get anyone else into his idea. The city council vetoed his order. The governor of Ohio listened to what he had to say, but showed no interest in calling the state Congress to allow Jacob to put up a bearer or a bond. And eventually he would have to try to put it to a petition to put onto the state ballot to try to get people to vote for it. It became his sole thing that he worked on, to the point that he really didn't do much of anything else.
No.
And while his one big campaign promise was falling apart, he spent quite a bit of time traveling around from Chicago to Rochester, New York to Detroit, which, if you're traveling that much in 1931, it doesn't leave a whole lot of time to be doing the job in your own town. But lucky for the folks in Massillon, he did find time to decriminalize drinking. So long as you weren't blackout, barfing your own pants drunk, if you were found just regular drunk, the cops were directed to help you to your home rather than send you to jail.
Aww.
Which the cops hated.
But I wanted to wail on some people.
But I want to beat up someone now. It's easier when they're drunk.
They're so soft.
But not 3 months into the job, Jacob was already heavily fucking up. He had demanded that the city council purchase the Ohio Water Service Company for $800,000 via a bond ordinance, to which the council and many other people said out loud, "That's illegal. The way you're having us do this is illegal. There's a way you're supposed to do this."
Hold on. So I need like a little bit of explanation for, so there's the city waterworks, and that somehow that isn't like, that is separated from the population in terms of ownership. I just figure it's like, well, if you live there and you're paying taxes and you're voting in the government.
From what I can understand, I think what he's talking about is more of a co-op than a government owned.
Okay.
So it's more like owned and run directly by unelected people and the whole community.
Oh, so would this be similar to things that may have happened in Texas a few weeks back, where like some of those energy companies were like quote unquote user owned?
Yeah.
Community owned?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay. Same really good idea.
Yeah, it's all fun games, so it just goes to shit. Okay, continue. Thank you.
Yeah. So after discovering his big plan was illegal, he backed down. He followed this up by ordering the killing of all stray packs of dogs, which apparently had become a very big problem in the town. He then found time to narc on 15 Saudi immigrants who were living in Massillon and got them deported. And by April...
Dude!
Yeah. They got deported because they asked for public aid, and he got them deported.
He was the one trying to get bearer bonds for the entire community.
Mm-hmm. No. Bears are for some people. Bears are for America.
Okay.
So by April, 3 months into his job, the city council was getting beyond fed up with Jacob, mainly because the dude was just never at work. Jacob was constantly traveling to Columbus or Washington, D.C. to get his bear bonbons, and he just never could. And when he wasn't doing that, he was at speaking events where he was trying to talk about his bearer bonds and municipality bullshit. And when a reporter for the Evening Independent asked Jacob how he felt about having his truancy checked by the city council, he said, quote, "I think they're doing a good job of it," and then recommended that maybe someone should keep track of their attendance.
What a dick!
Well, and I almost put this in. The city council replied essentially by saying, "If you're not going to be here, we're going to cut your salary."
Yeah, fair.
And he took it to the fucking state Supreme Court. His salary was $3,000, and they were going to cut it in half because he was barely there. And the Supreme Court's just like, it's what it says in the fucking rules. You just pay him $3,000.
Damn it.
And if the folks at Massillon weren't already pissed about his attendance, it was about to get even worse. Because what's the biggest issue of running for president and then winning a lesser office? It's that itch to run for president once again. And on June 17th, 1932, 6 months after taking the job as mayor, Jacob traveled to the Republican National Convention in Chicago. Republicans were completely set on renominating Herbert Hoover, despite the whole Great Depression thing and everyone dying. And there weren't even really any serious contenders against Hoover, but that didn't stop Jacob from pulling out all the stops to try and seize the nomination for himself. You know, a dude who's been a Republican for barely a year. And he would win the state primary, actually, prior to the convention. But this was back in the times where primaries meant less than nothing, and no one was legally enforced to vote for him. And no one gave Coxey a single vote. He wasted a fucking trip to Chicago.
Maybe he ate some pizza. Maybe it wasn't a complete waste.
One would hope. I hope he brought back, like, I don't know, like Garrett.
Mustard salt.
Yes. He just brought back a bunch of like stuffed cubby bears for all the town council. But if one political party doesn't want you, you can always ask around and find another. And turns out that in April, the Farmer Labor Party had met and couldn't think of anyone better than Jacob Coxey to be their vice presidential nominee. Not quite president, but you never know when a promotion is going to hit. And the Farmer Labor Party was really only big in Minnesota. Technically, it still exists today as the Democratic Farmer Labor Party, or the DFL. But around this time, they were testing the waters for a national run. And I guess no one wants to stay in Minnesota forever. And by July, the Farmer Labor people were in talks to potentially push together as many third parties as possible to make a stronger voting bloc. And this voting bloc was going to be called the New Liberty Party. Once again, Jacob would abandon Massillon, this time for the third party convention in Kansas City. But he would be leaving for a good reason, because according to the dude leading the convention, there were all these talks to bump Coxey up to the presidential nominee of this brand new party. And Coxey was like, you know what? Yeah, I'll show up to Kansas City. I'll help you guys write the platform. I'll fucking be there. And when he got there, they nominated someone else.
Wow.
And the local paper used some big fuck you energy to note that the mayor still hadn't returned home 3 days later.
Well, they got good barbecue.
They do. God damn it. He keeps going to good food towns. This is fine.
Nice.
This is why we can't have bad mayors. And lucky for Jacob, he wouldn't have to hurt for that long, because in August, Jacob would travel to Omaha and get that promotion long foreshadowed about. The Farmer Labor Party was making him their presidential nominee. And sorry, Massillon, but that means your mayor has to be gone for at least another 2 weeks, and I'm sure you understand. Bye.
Is the Massillon Council starting to feel like Henrietta? Like, do the two of them get together and are just we need to dump his ass?
Oh my God. There are so many letters to the editor and so many quotes from the city council that are just like, can one of us just be mayor? Like, if you're not going to do it, just let us fucking do it, man. Ugh. 2 weeks later, the paper would run the headline, "Uncertain when Coxey will return."
Damn.
Our mayor went out for cigarettes and we haven't seen him since.
Yeah, y'all need to divorce your mayor.
So while in Omaha, Jacob, the new Republican, stated the only way to save the nation was to vote only for farmer labor candidates. He also pitched ideas for a mile-wide tunnel under the Mississippi River for a public works program, and his opinions of Hoover were pretty much the same as the rest of the nation. But that mile-wide tunnel under the Mississippi, it didn't say what it was for. I'm assuming it's to travel under, but
I guess.
with bridges?
Trains?
Also, the Mississippi's not exactly what one would call reliable.
That's an excellent point.
It does a lot of fucking things, and always when you don't want it to.
But yeah, based on the state of Louisiana alone, can you imagine like an Army Corps of Engineers project and the ensuing aftermath after we just like completely defund infrastructure for the next several decades?
Oh, you mean the water pipe underground? Yeah, I was there for that. I was the guy constantly yelling, guys, stop. This isn't going to. Okay, fuck it.
Like, yeah, there are all these bridges that are like a little rocky, but you know, we have this tunnel. No one uses it except for the post office. No one's allowed to use it except for the post office.
Teenagers sneak into neck for a while.
But we tell them don't, because it could collapse at any moment.
Guys, seriously, there are rats under here. They will give you rabies. We're trying to help you. There are better places to fuck in this town. I get it. It's the 1930s. We all have bad options. So Jacob would eventually return to Massillon, and he immediately announced that he's also running for Congress again at the same time. And then 1 month later, he failed to qualify for the race, which is probably for the best, because by September, Massillon was so low on funds that they were actually on the verge of bankruptcy.
No, Massillon.
So throughout the year, the city council kept trying to figure out ways to raise money through various levies and taxes. One was on milk, one was on, I want to say farmland or something like that. And literally any idea they presented, Jacob vetoed.
Oh boy.
So yeah, your fucking deadbeat dad comes home once every month, looks at the pictures you drew on the fucking microwave in the fridge, and is just like, nope, veto, fuck it, no. Build me a tunnel under the house.
Show me real love. Prove yourself.
What, you think you're the mayor of the house
Daddy's
now?
Whiskey.
I'm gonna go bet on all my horses.
Oh my God. Pick a good horse or you're not coming home.
What do you do as the city council member? I make horses fuck, I guess. I guess this is my job now. We hired a millionaire.
Yeah, he did have some horses, so maybe he's just like letting off some steam.
So lucky for Massillon, depending on who you are, the 1932 election season would end, and Jacob would have to settle for an 8th place finish for the presidency. Nationwide, he got 7,400 votes.
Oh boy.
But now Jake could actually finally focus on governing his home city. He had no more elections to distract him, no more business elsewhere, and the town immediately elected him out of the position.
Get out!
They did it by a lot. In the GOP primary, out of 4 candidates, Jacob would finish 3rd with 18.33% of the vote. Also, the Republicans now wanted nothing to do with him. And he would technically be nominated for president again after this. Oh, just one more weird fun fact of something I found out about him. One of the last things he did as mayor is he had the very first legal beer in Massillon after the liquor ban had ended, after Prohibition had ended. And all I could think was, you motherfucker, everyone in this town knows you don't deserve this.
Yes, exactly. Oh my God. Like they could have had a raffle or something, but no, you
could have saved the rec center, you fuck.
Yes. A hey penny per raffle ticket.
Oh my God.
But you had to veto it.
I was ready to spend 2 bits on this shit. God, I'm so happy we have a new mayor.
Even if he is a donkey.
I don't care. That donkey can drink. So after losing the one political position he ever held, he would enter into a few more races. He would technically be nominated for president again in 1936 by the Farmer Labor Party, but at that point, the party was pretty much done with national politics. The newspaper that reported on this particular event also said there were maybe a handful of delegates there. So it was just some people kind of decided and then got drunk.
Yeah.
So Jacob would try his hand in a couple more races after losing the mayor seat, and each of them were just kind of sad in their own ways. He ran for Congress in 1936 in the 16th district, this time a member of the Union Party, which I think you might remember as the party that Gerald L.K. Smith and Father Coughlin started.
Yeah. So great company, Coxey.
Yeah, you did it. You chose poorly. And once again, he would finish last with 1.5% of the vote. In 1938, he would make his final party switch after switching so many times. And he would return back to the party of his father. Jake became a Democrat, and he would run for Congress for a 6th time and come in dead last in the primary. Finally, Jacob would attempt to regain his mayoral seat and was just lucky enough to be the only Democrat that entered the race, getting him the nomination by default.
Shut up. No.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I promise you. He would finish in 2nd out of 2 with a little bit over 1,000 votes. It was something around like 18% of the vote. It was not good.
No, that's very bad.
And with that, the political career of Jacob Coxey ended at the age of 91.
91? This motherfucker lived till 91?
Yeah.
And was finding any party that would take him until his deathbed?
Yes. 100 fucking percent.
Wow.
But Jacob still had one more event up his sleeve. You see,
From
Franklin
the
Delano.
grave?
No, he's fucking raring to go. He's gonna run for Super Congress. You see, Franklin Delano Roosevelt was in the midst of his whole New Deal program. And for those of you not familiar, it is essentially a bunch of impoverished Americans were given work, food, and financial support. You know, like it's a right that everyone deserves. It was essentially all the things that Jacob wanted so desperately and fought for so long for everyone to get, but done so much better with so much care and thought. But the thing is, President Roosevelt still recognized that Jacob Coxey played a pretty big role in making these ideas more well known. And in 1944, FDR would invite Jacob Coxey to the White House. The two would discuss issues of employment, of various sorts of financial issues, and things like that. And as a gift to Jacob Coxey, Jacob would be allowed to deliver a speech in front of Congress. And it was the very speech he was prepared to give in 1894 before being arrested for grass assault.
This is mildly beautiful.
Now, Una, I know what you're thinking. This dude is old. How is he old so well? Well, Jacob created his longevity out of 2 of his own personal inventions. The first was a homebrew medicine he called Coxylax, which I just assume is either a thing that makes him shit everywhere at a moment's notice, or is just cocaine in pill form, or like morphine.
It's the latter. Morphine. Yeah. Well, 6 eggs, half a dozen back then.
The secret ingredient is vanilla.
And by vanilla, we mean cocaine or either morphine.
And the other invention he made was something that he dubbed electric heels, which he said he designed to cure his arthritis. I could not find a picture of these. I don't know what they are. I'm assuming that it's like a shock sort of thing, like one of those, I forget what they're called. Like you put a little shock pad on your back and it like slightly electrocutes your muscles and it like helps them feel better if you're feeling sore. I'm assuming it's that, only poorly made.
and maybe with some slight radiation poisoning thrown in there.
Like you gotta paint them in radium, otherwise you can't find them in the dark. And then you're gonna stub your toe, and iron hurts like hell. So. And sadly, Jacob Coxey, like all of us, did eventually die. He would die in Massillon in 1951 at the age of 97.
Holy cow. He lived to the 50s.
Yep.
He lived through World War II.
He saw so much shit in his life. He got to pretend to be a general at least twice.
Yeah.
He ran for office more times than
Should be legal.
Yeah. It's if I didn't know Rocky De La Fuente existed, I'd say he probably ran for office more times than anyone else in the world.
Yeah, but
Which I'm sure I'll discover that to be completely wrong here in a bit. But yeah, it's that thing where it's like he's already a millionaire. He already knows what he wants to do. And he's already done so much. Why is he chasing this? Does he just believe in his public works programs that much and doesn't entrust them to other people? Like, what the fuck is going on?
What I love is the socialist aspect of government reform that is truly ahead of its time, like well before the wave crested and it was actually necessary. Like he could have been a Cassandra, but because he's a businessman, there's this like navel gazing going on with him. Like I feel like is encompassed by his somehow getting the first beer available in Massillon when it became legal again, where it's just like, are you able to like conceptualize, are you able to truly feel empathy like for people outside of yourself? Because there's this weird dichotomy going on where you're aware of like the need for public works ownership and some kind of like, I mean, bearer bonds was weird, but yes, like some kind of UBI program before the words could even exist.
Like, is empathetic narcissism a thing?
Did we find it? I don't know.
I mean, it kind of feels like that, just because anytime he was presented with another solution, he seemed to just always veto it, literally and figuratively.
Right. So it's just like
he had to be the savior of everyone.
Right. Yes. So it's like, it's this weird, like, like fountainhead, who is John Galt? It's like, well, John Galt is coming up with UBI, but only John Galt can figure out UBI.
Get it on the trains. But yeah, and it doesn't help that he just either, I mean, granted, he didn't get kicked out of really any political parties except the Republicans. And it really must suck to have an ideology where you're constantly shifting parties and just watching them die. Like, I don't remember what that fucking Greek myth is where you grab a fruit and it turns to ash. That thing.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's something like, yeah, someone's like on the ground and you can grab and they're like starving. It's some sort of hell thing, some stupid hell thing. And they can grab the apple and then it like turns to ash or something like that. I might be confusing something from The Witcher also. So we'll see.
God damn it.
You know how I get that in the Bible confused. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think of Jacob Coxey? Like, if he was running nowadays, do you feel like you would be at least interested in voting for him, or do you think?
No, I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him. And I don't think he's a light man, and I have very weak arms.
No, he's pretty scrawny. He's a scrawny dude. He's a bird of a man.
And I feel that way because he is like shifting to whatever party is available, like just leaping without looking. And so it's just like, well, what is your ideology, man? Like what is your belief?
My belief is myself.
Yes, and
oh god, it's like a Tony Robbins thing.
Oh god, it is. Yeah, he probably would have been all up in self-help and self-actualization.
God, he would have written so many books that are like on sale at Barnes and Noble right now.
Yes, or Walden Books. He would have been all over a Hudson News.
Oh my god, yeah.
and the
is your flight late? And do you hate yourself? Let's go.
Read this book by this man who just finished hiking the Appalachian Trail.
I'm gonna tell you what the bears told me. Oh man. Well, on that note, thank you for joining us this week. It's I think Una and I are just a little bit punchy today, so thank you for getting through all this and my occasional punchy slurriness. But yeah, I guess we'll see y'all next week here on Gadfly. Gadfly is a production of Added Serotonin. Our episodes are edited by Brianna Valentine of Rem Alternus Productions. Our theme song is Sophomore Makeout by Silent Partner, and you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at GadflyPod.
Ready to level up your cosplay game? Check out the Geek Forge on Etsy. With a variety of props to give your photos that extra spark, you'll find just what you need. Hold magical fire in the palm of your hand, or take a potion to restore your mana. With a large variety of colors, you can choose your own magical flavor for your cosplay. Bring drama to your photo shoots with these vibrant props and more, all available at the Geek Forge. Are you ready to level up your cosplay?